Imagine you have a beautiful, healthy baby. Now imagine your baby's in a hospital fighting for their life. Imagine you have the power to prevent all of this from happening. Would you do it? Unfortunately, there are numerous parents who choose not to use this power because they have decided not to vaccinate their children, despite the fact from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, studies show that you can prevent 14 serious childhood diseases by vaccinating your child. The health and protection of your child today or future child's life depends on the proper vaccination to prevent risk of disease or sickness to your child. Today I'd like to talk to you first on why you should vaccinate your child, second, the risks and responsibilities of not vaccinating your child, and finally, how the future of your child and community around you will benefit for the safety and health of the future generations to come. Disease prevention has been made easy with the creation of vaccinations for common childhood illnesses. The problem today is that children are dying every day because parents fear the symptoms of the vaccine as well as what's being put in their child's body. The risk of not vaccinating your child can cause outbreaks in your community. For example, from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, if there are no measles vaccines, we'd have at least 4 million cases in the U.S. every year. The most common reasons parents skip vaccinations are safety concerns they have. A concern they have is that vaccines are dangerous, but vaccines are proven to be safe and effective. Vaccines are only given to children after a long and careful review of scientists, doctors, and health professionals. The parents fear the little discomfort and the pain that may cause redness or tenderness around the area of the needle that's been injected. But this is nothing compared to the pain, discomfort, and trauma for many diseases these vaccines can prevent. The serious side effect could be allergic reaction, but is very rare. This is from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. You can choose to take action early with vaccinating your child, or have the risk of possibly serious sickness so young, when you've had the power to prevent this from happening all along. Child vaccination is very important. Immunizations protects others you care about, and the importance of this protection is shown from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Since 2010, there have been between 10,000 and 50,000 cases of the whooping cough each year in the United States in about 10 to 20 babies, many of which were too young to be fully vaccinated and died each year. To keep them safe, it is important that you and your children who can get vaccinated and are fully immunized. This not only protects your family, but also helps protect the spread of disease to your friends and your loved ones. Not only is this a problem for your child or future child's health, but also for the health and protection of your community. Getting your child vaccinated helps protect others in your community, like your neighbor who has cancer and who cannot get certain vaccines, or your best friend's newborn baby who is too young to be fully immunized. When everyone in the community who can get vaccinated does get vaccinated, it prevents the spread of disease and can slow or stop an outbreak. The choice to protect your child with vaccines is a choice to protect your family, friends, and your neighbors too. It is always better to prevent a disease than to treat it after it occurs. When immunizing individual children, it can also help protect the community of the health of your community, especially the people who cannot be immunized. This is from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. I'm sure that you can see the importance of protecting our children and future children as any way possible from anything this world could throw at them. Instead of risking the possibility of our children from disease, we must protect them early on with the solution through vaccinations. When you want to vaccinate your child, you should talk to your doctor about setting up a vaccination schedule that best benefits your child's health. They will be involved in your child's progress and growth throughout this process. With this decision to delay or reject vaccines comes an important responsibility that could save your child's life or the life of someone else's. Through vaccination, children can develop immunity without suffering from the actual disease that the vaccines prevent. Newborn babies are immune to many diseases because they have antibodies they got from their mothers. However, this immunity goes away during the first year of life. To protect the child fully and have the potential of disease not occurring, vaccinations is the way to go, and this is from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Child vaccinations benefit both the child's health and the protection from outbursts in the community. If you do vaccinate your child or future child, your family and community around you can be unprotected and have a possibility for disease and outbreak in your community. In a study I found in a parent's magazine, a mother, Lisa, has a little girl, her name is Summer Estelle, who had just had her first birthday. Her mother claims that cake and presents are not the only gifts she's receiving, but she's also receiving the 4th round of her shots in 10 months. She says it's not the best feeling having to hold down her baby and help the doctors give her the vaccine, but she finds it necessary. The mother claims everywhere she goes, someone's always talking about the danger of vaccines. She sees the problem arising when parents question if they should be injecting a healthy child with these things. But the majority of medical experts is a resounding yes. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the American Academy of Pediatrics recommended that healthy children get vaccinated against 14 diseases by the age of 2. The consequences of not vaccinating your child risk your child ultimately death and an outbreak in your community. As you can easily imagine and take away from the words I've said, vaccinating your child can be one of the best ways to protect your child from possible harm in the future. I've told you how many children are dying each day without the proper vaccinations to allow your child to be protected early on from disease or sickness. Also, how to solve this issue is to set up a plan with your child's doctor to vaccinate your child, while showing you the risk of not taking action, as well as showing you concerns parents have that are missed, and ultimately the real concern would be if you didn't prevent this from happening to your child and they got sick from a disease and died. The goal for your child will always be safety and a healthy future, so you should vaccinate your children. What if your child was the unlucky baby who gets one of the 14 possible diseases by only the age of 2? Because you had the fear of injecting the vaccine in your child, imagine your child were to pass away, but you had the ability to prevent this and choose not to. But you chose not to. Think of the guilt and the feeling of loss over your baby that you had the power to prevent early on. I'm going to leave you with this thought. If you are a parent and the love you have for your children is like no other, you would do anything and everything for your kids in order to keep them safe. So why even risk the possibility of your child being unvaccinated, not protected, and the risk for disease? Please make this decision to vaccinate your child for the purpose of doing everything in your power to prevent these diseases from occurring and outbreaks happening in your community. Thank you.